Welcome to Guitar Gallery. It's Stefan and Stefan here. Another review today. Actually, something quite amazing, Stefan. It's a 1963 Martin 0021. I've never seen any of these before.
No,
I've read about them. But obviously, you know, we've got a wide range of new guitars, pre-owned guitars, and then every now and again we've got a nice vintage guitar in the mix. And so this one, as we said, is the 00 size. You've got a Sitka spruce top. You would have thought this is cedar.
It's amazing the dark color it got with the age.
This is what happens if it was born in 1963. So it's a Sitka spruce top, and then it has the Brazilian rosewood back and sides. So
also in terms of spec, Brazilian rosewood isn't something you can import anymore. So it's really a rarity.
Yeah, into South Africa you can't get it out of the States. So this is something really, really special. Stefan, you've played on it. What did you hear and experience?
You know, there's a certain aura that goes along with a vintage instrument, and I wasn't disappointed at all.
Yeah.
This instrument is responsive, it's loud, and it's fun to play as well. You know, we strung it up with some new strings, and it just sings. It's got a brilliant voice, and you know, this can all compare to any 00 out there, except that it probably has some more beef behind it than any other one.
Yeah.
It's an amazing sounding guitar.
Yeah.
You can really hear that it's got some good years behind it.
It feels like the guitar is alive when you play it. You can feel the vibration throughout the whole
Absolutely.
guitar. Stefan, and then maybe just for our viewers out there, why would someone go and buy such an old guitar? I mean, obviously we do know that, you know, there's something special about a Martin, especially a 63 Brazilian rosewood. You know, it's the ultimate guitar. But you can go and buy a brand new guitar. Maybe even at a similar price. I mean, why would you, not at the same specs, but why would one actually consider buying an older guitar?
You know, there's a misperception when it comes to vintage guitars, because if you don't understand, if you walk into a shop and you want a new shiny guitar, and it's not what it's all about. When it comes to the voice of the guitar, something physically happens to an old guitar, and it's got everything to do with the stiffness to weight ratio of the top. With age, with playing, and you know, with the top being exposed to oxygen, what happens to the guitar is that the damp, the water, the sugars, and the resins from the actual wood, from within the wood fibers, dissolve and they evaporate.
That's why the guitar must be so light as well.
Yeah, it definitely, it becomes lighter. It physically becomes lighter, and because it retains its stiffness, but it becomes lighter. lighter, its stiffness to weight ratio becomes better, and that makes simply scientifically, physically, a better sound producing material. So the wood in itself, on a structural, on a cellular level, becomes more effective at producing sound with the same amount of energy. So there's no debate that an old guitar, granted that it's in a good condition than this one, an old guitar will have more volume, more power, more complexity, and then the velocity of sound, the quickness of the response of the guitar, which is something that is very much sought after in professional and from beginner players. If you can hear that sound, it's really something that you can hang on to. So there's a misperception when it comes to vintage guitars, apart from the cool factor, and it is very cool, but it's genuinely something. Many pro players wouldn't touch new guitars. They say it simply doesn't sound like an old guitar, and they would go to many lengths to find an old guitar that is in good condition. So it's really something we want to awaken, especially South Africans, to the fact that buy an old guitar if you can find one. Buy an old guitar, check that it's in good condition, and if it sounds good, it's probably better sounding than it ever was. So don't walk past it just because it's old, scratched, and played like this one.
I remember when I bought a previous guitar, I had two guys coming out with similar guitars. The one was 6 months old, exactly the same model, and the other one was 10 years old. And the one that was 10 years old was was in another league.
Yeah.
And so the guy said to me, remember, that's how your guitar is going to sound. And then the other guy said, remember, your guitar will always be 10 years worse than that guitar.
It'll always be 10 years younger.
So you're going to really struggle to beat this sound. You're always going to be about 60 years or close to 60 years. You're going to be behind this guitar. So, so we've been talking a little bit about the science today, but I think you need to come and visit us. And this is really something for your collection. This is something special. A classic, something that not a lot of people actually have, and something that's pretty much impossible in South Africa to get if it's not in South Africa already. So thank you very much for watching, and we do appreciate all your support, and we hope to see you soon. Bye bye.